Welcome back to Newcomers Podcast, people, where I explore what it means to be an immigrant with immigrants like myself. Today, I'm talking with Precious Kolawole, who went viral last year with a TEDx talk called How Coding Can Change Your Life. And I wanted to talk to her about that, like just kind of understand, like, what is that always, what's the story behind that story? Why did you say that? What inspired that? And she does a pretty good job explaining why. But there's something else I think, which is like one of the biggest things. So two things actually, which I think is like the biggest things for me from this conversation with her. One is Canada needs something similar to the Americans' extraordinary talent visa. I think we have something like that, but I feel like from what I checked, it feels like it's dependent on the employer, not the employee, or the individual rather on not dependent on the individual. I think we need something like that in Canada. Second thing, there's something she said which is worth thinking about. If you're a young immigrant, chase knowledge, not settlement. Settlement will always come. I mean, it does feel like I'm being paradoxical here in the sense that I'm saying Canada needs some way to keep immigrants, and then I'm at the other end, I'm also saying chase knowledge or chase yourself, not settlement. But I think we can have the two conversations at the same time. The country can do better. You too, you should also take care of yourself. But yeah, enjoy. I look at your profile and you've done a lot of amazing things. And then you said to me you're thinking of doing your PhD in the States. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're going to the future, but why? Why are you thinking of that? Why?
Oh, why am I thinking of a PhD?
No, why are
Oh
you
my
thinking of doing
God.
your PhD in the States? Like, why not Canada? Why the States?
I see. The program I want to do is not available in most Canadian institutions. Apart from University of Toronto and maybe Mila Quebec, University of Toronto has like a little bit, but I think I've always been drawn to the United States and the fact that I like not about the opportunities, but I think there's a lot for me to learn over there. University of Toronto is my only option if I'm staying in Canada. So I don't think it makes sense to put all my eggs in one basket. Yeah.
Fair. And
Yeah.
and why, I mean, why I started with that is this idea
Mm.
that it just feels like Canada, this, if it feels like a lot of immigrants come in, a lot of immigrants go, or rather, it almost feels like there's this thing where the United States kind of hoovers up a lot of the talent Canada gets, and it's just kind of
Hmm. Yeah, that might be right. Okay, I can go deeper because the program I want to go for is artificial intelligence in medicine.
yeah,
Yeah. And like I said earlier, it's not common. Yeah. Even in my current school, the only thing we have related to that is surgical data science. However, if I look at universities in the United States, I can still count about like five or six offering that same program. So yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I mean, I'm sad to be honest. Like it's just I'm always like, I was like, because whenever I meet a talented immigrant, I'm like, I really want
Yeah.
them to stay and
To
kind
stay.
of kind of build here, and build stuff here. But then a lot of times it's like, oh yeah, they're leaving. They're thinking of leaving. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, there are a lot of things with immigration as well, especially international. You have to like stay back, get a post graduation work permit because I was a student, an undergraduate student. So you have to get your post graduation work permit, then get a PR, then the Canadian citizenship. That's when you're like exposed to a lot of opportunities. And thinking about that route, it's a lot. I would rather pursue knowledge than have to like being set for settlement, if that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, that's an interesting way to think about it, actually.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's a really interesting way to think about it. And when you think about it that way, it makes sense for the
Hmm.
person making that call. Like you rather chase
Yeah.
knowledge than settlement, because you feel like, I mean, I guess settlement will always come somehow in some
It
way.
will come. Yeah. And I think I'm still very young. And yeah, that time will come when I would have to like look for settlement. But I don't think this is the time yet to
Right.
be in search for that. Yeah.
So let's kind of go back now. Let's go
Okay.
back. Let's go to the good part of this one, because this part I'm like, oh, this lady is not choosing this country. But let's go back, which is basically.
Okay.
But then why Canada? Why, like, moving to Canada? Like, what was the choice moving to Canada? Then,
I see.
yeah.
When I was in Nigeria, I wasn't particular about the country. I just knew I wanted to study computer science in a country outside of Nigeria. I had that plan, and yeah, I was looking at universities in Europe and then a few universities in the United States. Canada eventually came into the plan through the program I got into, the Shopify Dev Degree program. It was never my first option, or it wasn't any of my options, but a friend of mine applied to the program and then he saw me lamenting about wanting to study computer science and then he reached out. I was like, Precious, check it out. And Canada, that's why I'm here. So it was never my plan to come to Canada, if that makes sense. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So we were just like a, what's the word? Like, how when things happen, like it just happens, and like, oh,
Yeah.
happenstance.
Exactly. Exactly. I mostly just let them happen. Like yeah, I'm not really fixated on the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just about where can I get what I want. If it's in the sea, if it's on the cloud, I just go for it. I don't care about the location most of the time. Yeah.
you know, I,
Sorry.
I hear, no, 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 that's okay. It's, I mean, because I hear you on that. It's, and that's a fair,
Mhm.
it's a fair way to look at the world. It's just like, because when you do, like, tell the stories as I tell, you kind of start to also think about things like the way people who are planning the country and stuff. Like, okay, yeah, we want immigrants to come in. We also want them to
Yeah.
kind of stay, that sort of thing. And so when someone says, oh, yeah, we're going to go, we're like, okay,
Yeah.
we lost one.
No,
But
if
again,
cannot okay, go on.
no, no, sure, sure, sure. Because mine
I
is
was
not that
gonna
important.
say if Canada decides to keep me here by giving me the documents, I would try and stay.
Oh, wait, 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 wait. Oh, God, I love this girl. So, wait, wait. So, what you're doing is like, you either act up, or I just chase
Yeah.
my knowledge and just do my thing.
Exactly, exactly. They shouldn't tie me down. Okay, if they offer it, if I have an opportunity to get all the documents, of course I will stay. I feel like there is no one route to getting what I want. There are like
Yeah,
several pathways, right?
yeah,
If this path gets me to the very end, that's fine. And if this other path works out, that's fine. I'm mostly focused on the destination.
yeah, yeah,
Whatever way, like I'm just ready to go. Yeah.
yeah. I does Canada have? Or, I mean, and maybe I shouldn't be
Mm.
asking you this question.
Okay.
But we can just riff and see whether we've seen anything like that. You know how in the States they have this thing called extraordinary talent visa and stuff. Do you think Canada does Canada have anything like that? Have you come across anything like that for Canada?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. Most of the time, you have to go through the
The
students.
students, yeah, because it feels like,
Yeah,
if what I hear you say is that maybe there's an opportunity for the country to say, and maybe there is. I know that there were a couple of
there
things that they
could
tried to put
be.
up some time ago. It's for tech staff, for tech talent or something. But I don't. Maybe there's something
Oh,
like that.
that's
Like,
in the United Kingdom.
no. I think
Global
there's.
tech
Yeah,
talent.
yeah. Like, and UK has theirs, which is, I think, it's global tech talent or something. There's something
I
that's
think
called.
so.
The US has the EB one, that's like the extraordinary talent visa. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that I've heard Canada say. Let me check
Huh.
if Canada has something like that.
Okay.
Canada special talent visa. I mean, they do have
They have it.
something called Global Talent Stream, but it just feels like the process. The process feels funny. Is initiated by the Canadian employer, not the national.
Ah,
which in itself takes the power away from the person who's applying, and it just, I feel, I don't know, maybe let me not say things I don't know much about, but because I do think that with the American one is that you're the
mm,
one who do the application yourself, and the country gives you a visa to come in, because they're like,
yeah,
hey, you're extraordinarily talented, so I think that
yeah.
we want to keep you in the country, come in and then try and get a job. It feels like this one, they're like,
Try and
hey,
get, yeah.
let the employer decide if you're talented, which I
If
think
you're
already,
talented,
yeah,
yeah.
which I think is a very, it takes
And
us
that means
somewhere way.
you have to stay with that very one
Yeah,
employer.
yeah, yeah, and
You
yeah,
don't
that
have the
ties you down.
opportunity to
Yeah,
move around.
exactly.
You get
Yeah,
tied down.
yeah, that ties you down. If that's the plan. If I fully understand what I'm saying, that's the plan. So 3 years now. Let's like, it's just, it's
Okay.
I wish I could have talked to the PM on the phone and be like, we need our own extra talent visa for talent. But 3 years now,
Mm-hmm.
you had this TED talk that went viral and stuff, which was a pretty good talk, by the way, though.
Thank you.
And when I come across things like that, what I'm always asking is, or what I'm always curious about is, what's the story behind that talk? What led to
Uh,
that?
okay. I grew up in okay, my parents are ministers, by the way. My dad is a pastor, my mom is like anchoring a lot of things in church. So he had his own church as well, and we had church members. They were my friends. We were in choir and all of that. And then in school, I attended public secondary school, private primary school, public secondary school. I think it's all happened during that journey of like entering secondary school. I had friends who were like, I had friends who were all like trying our best and all of that. We had groups. It was a girls' only school. We
Yeah,
had groups working together. Then many were not serious. Others were serious. Obviously, I was like among the students that were doing well. But then majority of girls in my class were just like doing anyhow. When I did my WAEC exam, West African Examination Council, I think that's the full meaning. Yeah, when I did the exam, many people in my class they did the final exam with they were already pregnant, which was very heartbreaking. And then my dad's church, the neighborhood, and all of that, many people that called themselves my friend, they actually like ended up doing things that were not so great. And it was very funny because myself, my sister, and my big brother, we were among all these people, and somehow we didn't get influenced. And it's very funny because when you are growing with people of bad character, it's there is a likelihood that you get affected. You
yeah,
just find yourself doing things you shouldn't do. And we did not. uh, Most of these people, some like ended up doing like cyber crimes, you know what I mean? It really bad stuff. And I've been so convicted since I was young. And I think so far I've been trying to understand what's brought about the separation. Like how was I able to kind of like stand alone and not mingle with all these people? And it's funny because it wasn't clear to me completely. I did not start coding until I was 17. But even before I started coding, I was always standing my ground. Like it's funny because it's like I do this thing called segregation. Once I notice you're a bad person, you're never going to be in my corner. I've had that thing since childhood, like very strong, opinionated, and all of that. Maybe I got a little bit of that from my siblings. So I was trying to attribute all of these things to, okay, what brought about this mentality, this mindset? And obviously, we grew up in church, but that did not mean people from my church were not doing bad stuff. But yeah, and my parents, obviously, very religious, and my mom is like very, very like you gotta do whatever she tells you to do. That's the way it is, right? So I was trying to attribute all of that to those things, the religion aspect, and then the coding aspect, and maybe like the exposure to higher knowledge, like the more you read, the more you understand that some things are just not right, and then it shapes your moral and the way you view a lot of things. So I was trying to search for answers, and I think the third topic was from that angle. And it's also a thing of when I started coding, many of my friends that used to act uh, in certain ways that were not like positive, when I started coding and I started talking to them, they got into coding, and it was very obvious the change in their character, the change in like people who used to like go to parties, who used to like they used to do all sorts of things, and then you see them becoming serious, and now I can have good conversations with them. I'm like, oh my god, what changed? Okay, is it the coding aspect, the fact that you are coding, is that why you are different now? So I was trying to, yeah. And obviously coding has its own good side, a lot of good things from, yeah. So it was a lot of those things. Yeah.
That's interesting, honestly. I mean, I can imagine how just focusing on. I mean, because you know how when if you say you want to code, I don't code. I mean, I've
Yeah.
played around with it every now and then, but like just
Yeah.
even trying to learn it itself, I know how the amount of focus you need to
Yeah.
apply, and
It's
then I can,
difficult.
and
Yeah.
then you forget every other thing, and then probably one day you raise your head up and you're like, wait, my whole life has probably changed because I've left a ton of things
Yeah.
behind and I've just
Yeah.
moved on. And
Yeah.
you're like, well, I kind of enjoy it here. It's peaceful, and you just stay in it.
Yeah. Honestly, it's very powerful because it makes you think a certain way. You become more like it starts with discipline. Like you become very disciplined the moment you start learning to code. Obviously, I've seen people that started coding and they just could not keep up. There is that part as well. But if you have the willingness to stick to it, you will actually find yourself becoming more disciplined. It adds structure to your life because yeah, it's a routine. Especially, I mentioned something in the talk about like debugging, the way we debug in coding, because I think every human has like this very buggy mindset, and which is similar to coding where you see a problem and you want to get to the root of that problem. However, it's not a straightforward journey. You have to find the error message, solve one, and then you find another problem, you solve that until you eventually get to the root of it. And I think this is synonymous to like how we also you can debug your mind and eventually see yourself being liberated. Yeah. I don't know. Don't
You're such a
quote me for
nerd.
all these things. I don't,
Like, you're such a nerd. Like,
I don't
and
know.
that's good. That's okay. The world needs more nerds. But you're such a nerd, and it's so beautiful to see.
Thank
You
you.
know, just building on that.
Hmm.
How did any of this help you as an immigrant? Because you know how when you move to a new country, you know how it can be trying to settle and start life afresh. I'm trying to see if
Yeah.
there are any more coding analogies that can relate to the immigrant journey. Maybe I can swipe them and keep them for myself too.
Okay, this is funny. Okay. Coding helping me as an immigrant. Maybe the aspect of like being headstrong, is that the way I should put it? Being persistent.
That's
Yeah.
fair, and I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can almost see where you're going, but yeah, continue.
Yeah. It's like when you are coding, most of the time you want to. Okay, I am this person. If I don't solve a problem, I won't stand up. I won't get up from it. I won't leave the problem until it's solved. And coming to Canada and being here, obviously, my journey has been very beautiful. If I'm being very, very honest, I didn't really have trouble settling in Canada. But at the same time, I think it was also a result of having like this ability to persist despite tribulations, and you not just seeing problems as problems. And it's not easy to get to that position. It's clearly a problem, it's clearly something that should shake you, but
Mm.
because you just keep on going, yeah, I can attribute that a little bit, not completely, a little bit to coding, not on, no, I won't, not 100%. But yeah, but just not seeing problems as problems and understanding that there is an answer to every situation, to every problem you see, and just trying to
Yeah.
get that answer. It's, yeah, yeah, a little bit of mindset change.
Yeah, I can see that because as an immigrant, or rather as a newcomer, immigrant, someone new to a place,
Yeah,
it's so easy to think you're the victim.
that's right. Oh God, that's right. Oh God, yeah,
So
yeah.
easy to just think, yeah, I'm the victim in all this, and that paralyzes a ton.
Oh God, that's a very interesting one. Honestly, that's a very interesting one, and I also believe that to for liberation to happen, you have to like get out of that mentality. If you always think
Yeah,
yourself as the victim, no, it's not a good place to be. It's not,
yeah,
because it's like a chain. It keeps you bound.
yeah,
And even when things are not bad, you think they are bad because you are wired to think like a victim. Yeah. Oh my God. I can mention an example when
sure.
when
Please go
I
ahead.
when I started working, because my program required me to school to study and work at the same time. So I was working for a company, Shopify. In my very first year in the program, obviously I had like coding experience before I joined the program. We were many, but like I was the only Nigerian and one another black girl, but she lived in the United States all alive. Uh, and then we started the program. Everything was fine. Obviously, I don't care. I just do my thing. I work so hard, and that's all I care about. I just want to have fun as I'm doing this thing. That's all I care about, right? So I did not actually see myself at all, as a victim. And then there was a time when we had impact reviews. Like it's a time of the year when they review your performance and everything. Obviously, I knew I was doing well, but there's this part of me that was like, what if? What if they don't like you? What if you don't deserve it? And all of that. And I do this thing where I don't have a lot of expectations. I
Yeah,
obviously I have high expectations. I have high expectations for myself, but I don't have high expectations for other people, right? So when so that moment I had expectations. I was like, I should get the highest of those ratings. I was expecting that. But at the same time, which I will attribute to the victim mentality part, I was telling myself, okay, Precious, calm down. It's very possible that you won't get it. Maybe because you don't speak well, maybe because you don't, yeah, all of those things. I was putting them together. On the call, the two of my supervisors were talking to me and they were like, Precious Kolawole, congratulations. You had a high positive and all of that. I screamed on the call because I did not expect it at all. Like I was screaming, and the guy had to like pause, and he was
this
like,
is like what's going on.
"Precious, why this reaction?" Right? Yeah, it's just very funny how we can think like we think too much. We immigrants. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a really, really that thing you just said now.
yeah,
That is interesting.
we think too
I,
much.
and sometimes I don't know. I don't know whether to blame the immigrant. Like I don't know honestly. Because I feel like when you start life afresh in a new country, especially it's a messed up thing in
Yeah,
different ways. You're like I tell people that you're like a
yeah,
baby. You're like a baby again, but the curse is that you have the burden of the life you lived before. So
God,
so
yes,
every single thing you look at it through the lens of your Nigerian self, for example. Like I'm Nigerian, so it's like everything I look at it through my Nigerian or my Lagos lens. And so before you know, sometimes you're taking assumptions and layering on top of other people.
yeah, yeah. That is so right. That is so. It's difficult being an immigrant, especially getting used to the system. I studied a little bit in Nigeria before I came here. And the system wasn't like this at all. I was taking like 11 courses. It was pre-medicine, medical rehabilitation. I was taking 11 courses at a time per semester, and we did not even have like online websites for courses. Everything was on paper. Yeah. So coming here and my school introduced me to Brightspace. It's like this online tool for everything related to the courses you are taking. I struggled with it. I struggled a lot. Just getting used to the platform, knowing that there are ways I can set notifications so I don't miss my deadlines and all of that. I spent time just mastering the tool itself, which is different from, there's the part where you have to stay glued to your class courseworks, learn the material, and having to learn a tool, a website should not even be part of the things I have to do. But due to the circumstances, I have to learn the tool first before actually like doing my job as a student, my work as a student, which makes it more complex. And whoever is not an immigrant won't have to face that situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And to them, you say you're struggling. They'll be like, "Why are you struggling? It's just a
Why are you
tool."
struggling? Just get over it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious about something now. So you like,
Okay.
if you look back at the pressures that left Nigeria 3 years ago and the pressures of today, tell me what has changed and what hasn't changed.
What hasn't changed? I'm still very traditional. what hasn't changed? Okay, let me be serious.
Oh, you weren't serious before. God, this guy's wild.
Sorry, I joke a lot.
Oh, no, that's okay. I love that actually.
Oh my god. What has changed? What hasn't changed? My goal getting spirit has not changed.
Please don't change. I don't
I
never lose
yeah.
that, please.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think I used to have this fear. I think people call it the Nobel Prize effect when you get something big and that starts to steal you. Like it makes you to not go for bigger things because you think you have arrived or you've gotten it all. Yeah, I used to have that fear. So when I came here, it was a big deal when I came to Canada. Actually, it was all over the internet and all. But I was low key telling myself never to let that get into my head because this is just the very beginning. Yeah. So where am I going? Gosh, yeah. It's like just grinding. Yeah, I tell myself this a lot, like to continue to plant like the seed from which the oak tree grew from. I don't know if that makes sense. It's
Yeah,
like
it
that
does.
very seed I was building when I was in Nigeria. I was planting. I should keep planting those tiny little seeds while I'm here, so it's not a thing of I have to change the way I operate, I have to change my style, I have to do bigger things. No. But it means those things I was doing, those things I did in Nigeria, I should keep doing them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did not lose my goal getting spirit. Yeah. What has changed? I don't think I will attribute what has changed to immigration. I think it's just part of growth, normally, like general growth,
Okay.
learning more about life. And I think my perspective when I was in Nigeria was very one-sided. But now that I'm here, I don't think from one angle. I consider a lot of things. I consider the people I'm talking to. I consider myself. I pick my words clearly, like not like clearly, because I still jumble those ones. But I try to make sure, yeah, I consider different perspectives before arriving at a conclusion because different people go through different things. And the fact that we are not from the same place makes it a lot wider.
I want to be I want to be my selfish self and say that's part of the superpower of being an immigrant. But I hear you when you say it's part. I also think it's part of growth. But I think the one
Oh,
thing,
okay.
yeah, I think the one thing that moving across countries forces you to do is that you start to
Mm,
see the world from different lenses.
different lenses. Yeah.
Then, if you now work with people from across the world, it even gets worse because it gets worse in a good way. Because, so,
Yeah.
like for example, I've worked in Nigerian people. I worked with people in the UK. Then I moved
Yeah.
to. I now live in Canada, but I worked in the US for a bit, and I've worked with people in Canada. So you have this lens where there's a Canadian lens. There's the way the US, the Americans do things, there's the way we do things in Nigeria. And every time you're talking to someone, you're always trying to say, please do be very careful, because don't take your Nigerian self. Talk your Nigerian self in. Just talk your Nigerian self.
That's actually so right.
Like just talk it in. Talk it in. Don't bring it out. Please, can you keep that in there?
I'm going to digress a little bit. The
Sure.
lady that connected me, oh, Victoria, do you
Yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah.
Victoria?
Victoria, yeah, yeah.
Our TEDx talk was about, oh God, I want to remember the actual idea.
Communication or something about, yeah.
Communication, yes. And she gave several examples of how people from a certain region, they are very direct, they are very frank.
Yep.
They tell you straight up, this is how the
Yeah.
thing should be. And then there are some people, they try to make sure you are feeling good. They won't
Yep.
exactly
Yeah.
communicate what's going on in their mind and all
Yeah.
that. And I think Nigerians fall in that category of people that are super frank. They tell you straight up, you are doing this wrong. And I think when I listen to her talk, it's actually occurred to me that I've also experienced this thing. Like, when you have like a superior and you expect certain type of feedback because you are still growing, you are an intern, you are a student, you need feedback to actually grow, to know
Yeah.
if you are doing things better, like doing things certain way and like improve. But when everyone is kind of like patting you on the head, you're
But you're
doing
doing
well, baby.
great.
No, I'm not gonna fall for that. No, I need feedback, okay? I need feedback. Don't tell me I'm doing fine all the time. Yeah. It's yeah. Yeah.
So how do you not ask for it? How do you ask for the feedback? Just curious. How do you ask for it?
Okay. For example, at work, we have this thing. What do they even call it? I can't remember. It's like user guide. You can put it on your profile. How you like people to communicate
Oh,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
Obviously, I didn't specifically spell it out there. Talk to me direct, no, directly, no. But yeah, but I, general people, I don't mind. But when you are my immediate supervisor or my mentor, from the the first few calls, I let you understand that I am very comfortable with feedback. You can give it to me at any time of the day, in the morning, afternoon, night. Just give it to me. If I'm doing something wrong, let me know, right? So I kind of just set the tone from the very first or second meeting, and then they kind of just. And I also think the way you deal with people, it's like what you do is what you get. Yeah. I make sure I deal with them frankly. I don't like keeping ulterior motive and all of that. So obviously I will say things kindly, but
yeah,
in a way that I'm still passing the message across, right? And then the
yeah.
way I deal with them, they deal with me that same way, which I appreciate. Yeah. So
Hmm.
I've been able to navigate it like that.
I'm still staying on this topic a bit. This talk without change and what hasn't
Okay,
changed.
go for it.
And because when you applied for the program, how long did it take from applying to when you got approved?
Oh, good question. Okay, let me remember. November, I submitted my application on the 4th of December 2021. I had the interviews around late December to early January. I got my offer in March 2022. Yeah, March 2022. And then I started my immigration. Yeah, I submitted my immigration documents in May of 2022. And then I left Nigeria in August 2022. Yeah, from
So
December to
all this
August.
happened within
Nine
9.
months.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Which is pretty fast, and which also means that you
Okay.
didn't plan to move.
I did
And
not.
so, yeah. So I'm just curious, what did you have to leave behind, physically, emotionally, aside
Oh,
from family? Don't tell me family. That's the easier one.
come on. If I
Don't
don't
do that.
mention family, what else?
I know you had the family behind, Precious. You wanted to find an easy way to get out of that question.
If I don't mention family, what else?
I noticed that. I noticed that. I mean, I don't mean it that way, but yeah, I noticed that. But what else did you have to leave behind, physically and emotionally?
And friends is not family.
Well, friends. I could take friends.
Okay, let me think. Let me think some minute. Seconds, rather.
That's okay. Let me give you an example. You know how, like, for example, when I was living in Nigeria, I
Mm,
had to give out some
mm.
of my books.
Okay. Okay, that's easy.
Don't tell
Okay,
me
I can
books
start.
now.
Okay, that will help me. That will help me. Okay. I think I said something about leaving my degree, my medical degree.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was in second year, medical rehabilitation.
Oh,
And then
wow.
when this whole Shopify computer science thing came in, I I did not even sign out of the school. I just stopped going and then they considered me gone. So that part. And when I was applying for the Shopify program, I also applied to Microsoft and Google. Obviously, Google they didn't approve anything. Like I didn't move forward. But I got an offer from Microsoft, the Microsoft Nigeria for software engineering. But when I looked at the Shopify option and the Microsoft option, I had to go for Shopify. But I won't say it didn't really affect me not going for that opportunity. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I did.
Yeah.
I made a good choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah. Um, what else? Maybe I can talk about like the community. Okay, yeah, okay, this is a good one. Yeah. Okay, from my perspective, it's a good one. When I was in Nigeria, I was part of like many communities in that school. Uh, I founded like what's that? Oscar, Open Source Community Africa for Africans in tech venturing into open source. So I was like the lead of that community. I was doing data science with Data Science Nigeria. I was a team lead during that, doing that. What else? I just had like this many organizations,
Okay.
and then leaving Nigeria, I had to stop everything because I knew it was like a different phase of my life. I needed to learn something new and I needed to focus on my new job. So I left all these people. I had mentees back then. I stopped communicating with them. And I think I'm very sad. Like, assuming I had time, if there's anything I want from life, I think I want more time because I think I'm too focused on my own success and goals that sometimes I'll come back to you guys. I do that a lot, like those my mentees. It's very sad. It's very sad. So I did not. I stopped communicating just to not like just to be able to hold on to the ones I currently have. Yeah, that was very sad. And moving here, it has not been 100% easy, like to create my own organizations, especially in my current school, Carlton. There was a time I was starting to organize, like create a Black in computer science organization, but that was so difficult because I needed to go through like several stages of the community being approved. So it was too difficult, and I had my own goals, obviously, so I had to just drop it. I've been doing a lot of volunteering here, but I don't think they will ever be like the ones I did in Nigeria because I think those Nigerians they needed me more than the people here in a sense. Yeah,
I hear you on that. Um,
yeah.
have you replaced all that? How have you replaced all the friendships and stuff that you had back in Nigeria?
Now the funny thing is my friends are really good people. Yeah, they are very understanding. Yeah. I have a best friend in Nigeria. We don't talk often, but anytime we talk, it's always very long. Sometimes we won't talk in 3, 4, 5 months. I'm serious.
Those are the best
And
kind of
then,
friends.
yeah. And if I call her tomorrow, she's still gonna be there. I'm traveling to Nigeria by the end of this year, and I think I have to make it up to everybody. I'm not gonna be in my
You don't
dad's
have to
house.
though. You don't have to make it. No, no, that's no. Don't do that to yourself, Precious. You can't. You can't even make it
I
to
want
everybody.
to.
You can try.
Not everybody. The
Yeah,
important people.
yeah. I know that guilt. I know that guilt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like especially when you leave Nigeria and leave friends behind, and then you go back and you
Yeah.
think that you can see everyone. You can't
Yeah.
see everyone.
I miss them.
I know.
Well, yeah. I would try my best to see
You
a
should.
few.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
should
a
try your
few.
best. But
But yeah,
I'm
keeping
saying that to you
friendship.
because you, if me and you talk when you come back, you've said, "Dozie, I didn't see all of them," and I'll be like, I wasn't expecting to see all of them. I'm just
Fair.
telling you, like it's not it's because it's just the reality of it. So it's just anything you see, you take. So you what I think the thing is you
That's
go
right.
there with the idea that you try your best
Try your
to
best.
see,
Yeah,
yeah, and then
that's right.
because you probably have 2 weeks, or you have
Yeah.
3 weeks, or you have one
Three
week.
weeks.
Oh, you have
Three.
3 weeks exactly. Yeah, because I know you're not going to do a month. Most people are not going to do a month. You have 3 weeks
No.
because life has you have to come
Three.
back to work and
You
all
have to
that.
come back. You have to come back. It's interesting for sure. Yeah. Well, honestly, I tried my best. Honestly, all my friends are just very, very good. When they do this thing a lot, when they pray and they see me, and then they will, hey Precious, let me drop a voice note anytime you can come to this. I saw you in my dream last night. They do those cute stuffs a lot. Yeah. Well, it's been difficult keeping up,
I
like
can
being in
imagine.
touch. Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
imagine. I think my last question is, and we're rounding up now. Thank you so much for this. My
Okay.
last question is, when you're talking about your mom, you did sound like you and her a bit close, or your dad, and I'm just
Yeah.
curious how you've managed to keep that relationship going.
Good one. Okay. When I moved here, my brother also left Nigeria for the state. My sister left Nigeria also for United Kingdom.
Oh
So it's
wow,
like we are four. I have a younger sister. She's in Nigeria with my parents, also in uni. So it's like since everyone is everywhere, we have to be in touch, right? So we have like a family group, and then we have calls on Sunday, every Sunday. Every Sunday. You cannot miss the meeting. My dad enforced it. Everyone has to be on the call every Sunday. And let's say during the week when I miss my mom especially, I just like send her a personal message and then we talk before Sunday. But we've been doing those Sunday calls consistently. Yeah.
nice.
And recently, I traveled to the States to meet my brother. That was like me meeting him after 3 years.
Oh wow,
This year, April, yeah. My sister also graduated. So I traveled to the United Kingdom for her graduation. That was me seeing her also after 3 years. But yeah. So just traveling. So far, we have money, we can travel everywhere.
right.
So I need to make money.
And that's why you need
I
to
need to-
chase knowledge, not settlement.
Exactly. Do you get? Chase knowledge, and once I have knowledge, money will come.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
So
Thank you so
yeah,
much, Precious. This was really good talking to you. Thank you.
you made this so casual. Thank you.
Thank you. Really, no, really. Thanks a bunch. Like, and all the best with all you're doing. I really, really hope Canada keeps you somehow. I really hope.
Tell
I
your
mean,
people.
I'm not a policymaker. I'm just a media person. But I really hope Canada keeps you. Honestly, we need more
Thank you.
immigrants like you here, just kind of helping the country find its way out of this new paradigm we find ourselves in. But yeah, thanks a bunch for coming on the pod.
Thanks.
That was a fun conversation. Just such a sweet soul. And there's a ton to learn from that lady. Especially she has this, her focus is just amazing to see. But yeah, thank you so much for getting to this point of the podcast. If you know someone who finds this useful, please send to them. If you know someone we should talk to, please send them my way. As always, please like, share, subscribe on Substack, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcasts, you find us there. Have a good one.